It is trade deadline season. Welcome back to Good Sports For You, where we are talking about good sports for you. And in my last video, we did what teams would buy and sell in the American League. Now we're moving on to the National League, my favorite league, where my Milwaukee Brewers reside. So before we hop into it, I'll remind you to like, comment, and subscribe, do all those things. If you didn't check out the last video, be sure to do that. And before we hop into it, the way that I'm going to be going through teams is just in alphabetical order for each division. It's not going to be in order of standings or anything like that. So to start off, in the NL East, I have the Atlanta Braves. I'm saying buy 100%. This team is fantastic this season. Chris Sale has been absolutely phenomenal. He's been at least top 5 in Cy Young conversations, if not 4 or even 3. He has been that good of a pitcher so far this season. But the biggest thing right now is you need to build a rotation around him. They are definitely missing a couple of rotation pieces if they want to be really competing in the playoffs. Obviously, Tarik Skubal is the ideal, but I don't think that they're in that competition right now. I don't think that they have the pieces to go out and go get him, and I haven't really heard their name mentioned a lot in that situation. The other thing that they need is they could definitely use an upgrade of at least like one bat. Like they could use another solid bat in that lineup. And then our next team is we're going to have the Miami Marlins. I'm putting them at a soft sell for right now. If this was pre-All-Star break, I would say buy. You're right in the wild card mix, and then they've been terrible. They've been like 1-9 post-All-Star break. It's been absolutely awful. However, I'm not saying a true sell because I don't want you to give up a lot of pieces. I've heard that they're not going to give up Sandy right now, so like that's really the only piece that I feel like would make sense to move because you just have so many young, controllable assets right now. And then the other one that it's like going to be a free agent soon is Pete Fairbanks, but I don't see another team willing to go out and trade for Pete Fairbanks because he's been bad this season, and also he's still owed a lot of money for this year. It was like an insane one-year contract of like $15 million. So like honestly too, it's like you could low-key do a soft buy, maybe try to get some controllable assets, something like that. I just don't think that this is the team to make a push right now, so I'm kind of in a weird spot of I'd like to see them do a soft sell, but I just don't know what you would sell, you know? The next up is the New York Mets. Obviously sell. This team has been an absolute disaster. However, you're not going to be able to get rid of your big contracts, so you're going to have to hold on to Soto, Lindor, which I think that they should do, and also Bo Bichette. Bo Bichette's not going anywhere. No one wants him anyway. Also, Marcus Semion's going to have to hang around. There are pieces, though, that can be valuable. The biggest ones right now, Freddie Peralta. Freddie Peralta obviously has had a very bad season. Could this be because he left the Brewers, which is one of the best run organizations in terms of building up starting pitching? Potentially. So a lot of people are talking about a potential Brewers reunion. I would like to see it if we are able to like not give up a lot. Like, yeah, we'll give you one prospect back. Nothing crazy at all. I don't want all that. He's been terrible for them, right? The other biggest piece that I've really seen a lot of people talk about like he will be traded is going to be Luke Weaver. He's been really good this season. He can be used as a high leverage arm for a lot of teams that are looking for a high leverage arm. Another team that he would be great for would honestly be my Milwaukee Brewers. We need a high leverage arm. I feel in the bullpen right now, Luke Weaver has been so good. I think he's 100% on the trading block. Some other guys that could definitely be in the mix is AJ Minter, Clay Holmes, and Brooks Raley. Those guys are all on close to expiring or expiring contracts and all been pretty good this season. Clay Holmes has dealt with injury this season, so that is the one concern with him, but it looks like he's rehabbing and getting back to where he needs to be. The next team is the Washington Nationals. I want them to buy. This is a really good team. They made that interesting move with Curtis Mead and to get back Conley early. And it's a win-win and a lose-lose for both teams. I feel like I actually like that they got back Conley early. I know that a lot of the advanced metrics and his FIP and everything show that he's supposed to regress, which is like, yeah, whatever. He's still a young, controllable pitcher that at a bare minimum will be like a quality 4 or 5 starter for you later down the line. Curtis Mead still had a lot of years left before he reaches free agency. He was really good, but I feel like he was kind of a flash in the pan. That's the one thing that I'm concerned about. I've heard rumors about CJ Abrams. I really want them to keep CJ Abrams. He still has team control. He's a legit MVP candidate this season. Why would you trade for younger, more controllable pieces in the hopes of them becoming CJ Abrams when you have CJ Abrams? Like, he can fit the timeline very reasonably. The other name that I've heard is Foster Griffin. Foster Griffin's been having this insane season, and he's in a unique spot because he played in the MLB and then he signed overseas, and now he's like a free agent right now, so it was like a 1-year deal, so he's going to be going into free agency next season. He's been really good, and it's like I could see them trading for him because he doesn't really fit the timeline right now. So that one I could understand, and I think that you could get some decent pieces out of him because of how good he has been this season. And then the final team in the division is the Philadelphia Phillies. I'm saying bye for them, but I don't know where. This team is this team. I've said it since the beginning of the season. I'm not a fan of this Phillies roster construction. You have everyone locked in. You have a bunch of old guys still on the team. That's the way it is. And I'm like, where do you improve? Do you improve around the edges? This MLB.com article, which I looked at for a lot of this research, is basically like they could add a bullpen arm, they could use a back-end starter, and they could maybe use a right-handed bat. But I'm like, don't expect them to do anything crazy is what I'm really saying. Because Christopher Sanchez has been great. Zach Wheeler has been great. He just had a bad start recently. And the hitting as a whole has been pretty solid. So it's like, what do you really do? I think the biggest thing that they could use is like a 4 or 5 starter. So honestly, like you could see maybe like a guy from the Mets. You could trade for a guy from the Mets or something like that. But that's what they really need because Aaron Nola has struggled a lot this season. We know that. His ERA is nowhere where you want it to be. And then the Andrew Painter experiment right now has gone very, very poorly considering the hype that he had as a prospect. He's been very bad and now he's back down in the minors. So you need another guy to fill out that rotation, even if it's guy to just take up innings so you don't have to waste your bullpen as much. That's all they need. Go out and get a guy with a 4 or 5 ERA or even a 5 ERA or something like that. Could be very useful for this Phillies team, but don't expect them to make any blockbuster moves is what I gotta say. Next up is the NL Central with my Milwaukee Brewers. Buy. And I know that we've bought in the past and we've cleaned up around the edges like I'm saying the Phillies should do. This needs to be our all-in season. Go out and get Tarik Skubal. Go out and get Mason Miller, whatever it is. This needs to be it. This team is very, very good. The Dodgers are good. Obviously, we know that. I don't think they're as good as everyone thinks right now. They have some aging players. Yes, they're going to be dominant. Yes, we know all these things. This Brewers team is fantastic. If we can go out, if we can get Tarik Skubal, you're looking at a starting pitching rotation of Miz, Skubal, Kyle Harrison, boom, boom, boom. That's an unbeatable top 3. If you can go out and you feel at any given series that you have a real shot of winning your first 3 games because of your first 3 starting pitchers, you need to do that. That basically sets you up to win any playoff series. And then if you got like Shane Drohan in your 4, whatever it may be, Brandon Sproat in your 4 or 5, Robert Gasser in your 5. Robert Gasser is a long reliever. You like that way, way more. Obviously, the Kyle Harrison injuries has really sucked the life out of the team and Brandon Woodruff in terms of starting pitching. We need another starter. If it's Freddie, I'm not thrilled, but I'm like, okay, I want to go out and I need a legit ace similar to 2008. Go get your CC Sabathia right now. If you can't do it, trade for a high leverage arm. A Luke Weaver would be huge. Just to take the pressure off of a Chad Patrick, off of an Aaron Ashby. If they can go back and it's like you only need to do long inning relief, basically if our starter gets blown up, or, go out and be an opener, whatever we need you to do, that's okay. I don't want to see those guys after the 7th inning at all. Because if you could add like a Luke Weaver or a Mason Miller would be the dream scenario. If you could have Abner Uribe, Trevor McGill, Luke Weaver, and or Mason Miller, as it would be or, not and or. If those are your 3, boom, 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 all you need to worry about for the game is the first 6 innings. You can have your starter, if Miz can pitch 4 innings, if that's all you got that day, that's okay. Then you get in, you put in Aaron Ashby for 2 solid innings, and then boom, boom, boom. You're good. That's all you need to worry about for the postseason. Or if you could get, like I said, if you could get a top-end starter, that kind of alleviates your concern. If you could get Tarik Skubal to go out on game 1 and pitch 7 innings, you don't need to worry about your bullpen nearly as much. That is what we need. We need to buy now. The lineup I'm not really as concerned about because of the rise of Cooper Pratt and Luis Lara. Both of those guys have been really, really good. And with Joey Ortiz moving over from shortstop to third base, I feel that he doesn't have to worry about the defense as much, and his hitting has benefited so much. His stats comparing from when he's hitting at third base to when he's hitting at shortstop is like night and day. He's turned into at least an average hitter, and that's all that we need, because when we had Luis Rengifo on the team and Joey Ortiz was playing short, both of those guys were awful. You can't have 2 black holes in your lineup. You need, at an absolute maximum, only 1 black hole. Cooper Pratt has not been a black hole. Luis Lara has not been a black hole. Joey Ortiz now has not been a black hole. Now you look at this lineup 1 through 9 and you feel good about it. If you can get production out of your players in the 7, 8, 9 spot, you feel really good. So right now I'm just like, go out, buy, make a trade, do what you need to do. I don't want to see cleaning up around the edges. We can't have that. We need to go out and we need to make the push right now. This is quite literally the best Brewers team ever. We need to go out and we need to go out. We need to try to win right now. I don't think the Dodgers are an unstoppable force, but they will be an unstoppable force if you allow them to get Tarik Skubal. If they get Tarik Skubal, that's only one more ace that they have in their rotation. You have the prospects. You have the prospect capital to go out and do it. I wouldn't trade Jesus Mate, right? I wouldn't trade him. Right? You have prospects that you can make. You can go out and make the move. You have young, controllable pitching. You have young, controllable players. All of these things, go out, make it happen. Make it happen. That's all I got to say. Next up, we have the St. Louis Cardinals. I'm doing a soft buy for them, which in a way would actually be a soft sell. Because I'm saying you trade Dustin May, who has a mutual option for next season, which isn't going to be picked up. It's like, he's good. And he's got good stuff. The numbers don't really back it up, but like watching him pitch, like you could definitely see how he can be a valuable piece to a team. And in exchange, go out and get some like young, controllable assets that just fit the timeline a little bit better. So that's my thing. So it's like you'd be doing a soft sell, which in turn would be a soft buy. That's why I feel for the St. Louis Cardinals, because this isn't their year this year. Like, obviously, this is a huge step forward for this team, right? But this isn't their year to go out and compete. So don't go all in and go buy. Don't mess up the timeline is basically what I got to say. Next up is the Chicago Cubs. They need to buy. They are the clear number 2 in the division. They're clearly in charge of a wild card spot right now. They could make a push for the Brewers, knock on wood. Like, I don't want that to happen, you know? I don't want that to happen, obviously. But they definitely could. The only issue, their pitching is bad. Their starting pitching has been really, really awful. Jameson Taillon just got DFA'd. It's like they've dealt with injuries and they've dealt with people just not being good, period. Their relievers aren't much better. They need a starter. I don't anticipate them going out and getting a Tarik Skubal, a true ace. They could definitely just... They need somebody to just go out and get innings, because their lineup is a very good lineup, and PCA is having a historically good season, and you need to be able to back that up and capitalize on it. Next up is the Pirates. I'm saying buy. I am all in on this Pirates team, like genuinely. The biggest thing for them is the money. If you can trade away Marcell Ozuna to try to get some of the money off, and you get back a young, controllable piece, I don't know if that'll happen, but somebody who could also benefit you in the right now. Their starters are starting to come around, and this is a team that just could be dangerous. You look at their lineup top to bottom, and it's good. It's really, really good. Except for the catching position. Henry Davis has not been good. Like, sneaky, if they could make a way to get like a Ryan Jeffers on their team, that would be insane, right? Like, if they could go out and get Ryan Jeffers, it would be a steep price tag, obviously. But you look at a team that has Ryan O'Hearn, Brandon Lau, Brian Reynolds. You got Ryan Jeffers in there too. If O'Neal Cruz comes, I have no idea when he's coming back right now. And also Valdez, the new guy, like that would be an insanely stacked team. So it's like, why not go out and make something happen? Like, this can definitely be a dangerous team that could at least be competing for a wild card spot. And like I said in my American League video, in the playoffs, anything can happen. Because at the end of the day, if you're in a wild card spot, which is a 3-game series, you got Paul Skeens in year 1, you feel really good about that game. Even if he's not having his best season ever, you still feel good. And you got a lineup that can mash. Then all you need to do is win one of the next 2 games, and then you're moving on. And then if you have Skeens ready for at least one more game there, if you feel like you can win that game, then all you need to do is win 2 of the next 4. It's like, this is a very reasonable thing to happen, you know? Next up is the Cincinnati Reds, and I'm saying sell. This year has just not worked out for them. Pretty plain and simple, right? But don't trade any of your long-term assets. Don't trade Sal Stewart. Don't trade Elly De La Cruz. Don't trade any, like I said, any of your long-term guys. Look for players who have 1 year left on their deal, or like Gino Suarez. He has a mutual option, which like there's no way that's going to be picked up. He's definitely a spot because a team could always use a big bat. He hasn't been very good this season, but you could definitely get a little something out of him for sure. Brady Singer has been really solid if a team is looking for a 4 or 5 guy. You know, he can just go out and give you innings. He has an ERA in like the mid-4s or something like that, so he could definitely be a good back-end starter. And then also Tyler Stevenson's another really interesting guy because he's a very solid catcher, and a lot of the big-time teams are in need for either a starting catcher or a backup catcher. You think of the Yankees right now. They need a good catcher. The Dodgers have been in the talks of like looking for a backup catcher. I don't feel that Tyler Stevenson is a guy who is a backup catcher. Like, he is more than that. But the Dodgers, you know, have all the riches in the world, you know? So, like, he could definitely be on the trading block. He's on an expiring contract. He's been pretty solid this season. Why not go out and make a move to try to build towards the future? Next up in the National League West, we have the Arizona Diamondbacks. They've been marred by injuries, though. That's the only real concern, especially their starting pitching. Zach Gallen has been bad, and he's also been hurt, but he's going to be coming back. He's just really, really struggled this season, which is such a shame for a guy that honestly could have gone down as like a Diamondbacks legend, but he's really struggled. The other big concerns for them are their first base and DH position. They are dead last in WRC plus according to Fangraphs right now for both of those positions. So you need to go out and get a bat. You have a elite top three in Corbin Carroll, Geraldo Perdomo, and Ketel Marte. You need to go out and you need to get another bat, though. Erod is doing everything he can for that rotation right now, but it just isn't enough. If you want to make a legit push to get to the playoffs, you need to go out and you need to get another bat and basically hope that your starters can come back and be healthy enough and be good enough to get you to where you need to go. The Dodgers are an obvious buy. I mean, there's not a lot to talk about it. They have an insanely loaded farm system. They could probably trade for whoever they want to right now. They have the money to do it. They have the assets to do it. They've been fantastic this year. The only question is how much better are they going to get? Obviously, Skubal is the primary target for everyone, including the Dodgers. I'm sure that they could probably put together one of, if not the best package for Skubal. The team's just so good. Obviously, they're going to buy and make a push to be a three-peat, which I totally get. Next up is the San Francisco Giants. This is another obvious one. It's going to be a sell. The biggest piece for them right now is Luis Arraez, which makes me sad because he's had this defensive resurgence thanks to Ron Washington, I kind of assume. He's still good with the bat. He still does what he does. He's just a good ball player at the end of the day, and a lot of teams could really, really use that. I know the Yankees have been talking about it. A lot of Yankees fans have been talking about it, I should say more so. Another guy is going to be Robbie Ray. He's having a really good season. If a team needs another good starting pitcher who's on an expiring contract, who's going to be a good rental, Robbie Ray is definitely a guy to look for. He's been really good. One of the other big questions that I saw is, are they able to offload one of their huge contracts, like a Rafi Devers, a Willy Adames, a Matt Chapman, for example, all of whom are good players. Willie struggled this season. However, it's so much money tied up that I just don't think that that's very plausible. It'll be interesting to see, though. They're definitely going to have an interesting deadline. The next team is the San Diego Padres. This is probably my most controversial take. Blow it all up. I'm done. I want to see everyone gone, honestly, which is going to be an impossible task, so it's not going to be that way. It's going to be a long time before they really decide to blow it all up. This team just isn't good, and I know that they're trying to buy or whatever, but I don't know why. You need to trade Mason Miller. His value is at an all-time high. You need to get rid of him for seeing young, controllable pieces. Michael King, I think, would be an interesting look. He has some player options which are going to get expensive very quickly, but he could definitely bring back some players because he's a good ball player right now who's going to be a little bit expensive. However, everyone else, I want them gone, and that's not going to happen, but their contracts are so big. There's no shot that they're going to be anything over this next decade. They have so much money tied up in Machado and Tatis and Bogarts and Jackson Merrill. It's going to be a very rough decade for Padres fans, and I'm just saying, this team is not the team that is going to go out and win you a World Series or even a playoff series with the way they're looking right now. I don't even know if they're going to make the playoffs. The faster that you start a rebuild, the faster that it's going to go. That's just kind of my opinion. And right now, I'm just looking at this Padres team, and I'm just like, why are we still doing this? They could have been competitive half a decade ago, but right now that's just not the case. And we've tried and tried again with this core, and they've only gotten older, and they've only gotten worse. Machado and Bogarts are going to be getting paid until they're 40 years old, and they've already started to decline. It's worrying, and I'm just like, rip off the Band-Aid. I don't know if it's going to be this during the trade deadline, during the offseason, during next year's trade deadline, during next year's offseason, whatever it is, because I also couldn't see a team willing to take on all of that money from Manny Machado right now or Xander Bogaerts. It's going to leave this team in a terrible hole that you're just going to have to climb out of. It's going to be rough. It's going to be really, really rough is what it's going to be. The final team is going to be the Colorado Rockies, and I'm saying soft sell on them. Do not go out and sell all of your assets. I'd say trade Mickey Moniak because he doesn't have a lot of time left, and he doesn't fit the timeline of the team. You could go out and you could get a couple of nice pieces for him who could be MLB ready this year or next year, whatever it may be. I think that's the ideal thing. Jake McCarthy is another guy that could definitely be interesting in a similar way. Go out and get guys who are either MLB ready or will be MLB ready next season. That is, I think, the plan. Trade the guys who don't fit the timeline. Do not trade Hunter Goodman. Do not. And I know it's going to be enticing because I'm sure there are going to be all sorts of trade scenarios, and I've heard like, oh, his defense really isn't that good. He mashes. He has 31 home runs as a catcher. I don't care if his defense isn't good. I don't care if his framing isn't all that, or his receiving I've heard is actually pretty good, or like his blocking, whatever it is. And I actually think that this is literally the Yankees and other teams putting out false information to try to lower his trade value. And I know that his defense isn't all that. Those things can change. He mashes as a catcher. You know what can't really change as much? The fact that a guy is hitting 30 home runs and has better road numbers than he does at Coors. He absolutely mashes. I don't understand why the Rockies would trade him, and you'd have to give up so much in order to get him. He fits the timeline. He's under team control for multiple years. You can build the team around him. Why would you trade your two-time All-Star catcher? I don't think the Rockies are going to, because they're under new management and everything like that, but I want the big market teams like the Yankees to stop acting like he's already theirs. It's not going to happen. That's what I got to say. That's everything that I got. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Definitely comment if you think that I misrepresented your team. Obviously, the Brewers are the team that I know the most about. You know the most about your team, so please let me know what you think should be different. Like I said, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all those things, and I'm out. Peace.